it's Tony Seal. Welcome to the 18th episode of the podcast, Build Your Business, Change Your Life. This is the podcast of irresistible influence marketing and tonyseel.com. I'm your host, Tony Seal, and today we'll be talking about blogging. Everything on this podcast is about building your online business, and a blog can be an important asset for growing your business. One of the questions that I'm asked most frequently on Quora is how to make money blogging. It's not as hard as you may think, but to get 2020 clarity on it, let's start with a quote from Jason Calacanis. Jason says, "The currency of blogging is authenticity and trust." As we look forward to going into the new year, one aspect of blogging hasn't changed. Building an audience starts with building trust. You may not realize it, but trust is the number one reason to have a blog. Sure, your blog puts you on the map and helps people find you, but without trust, you cannot establish a good business relationship. Nobody wants to deal with the shady used car salesman, and frankly, too much online comes across with that kind of vibe. The vibe you want starts with trust. Your blog is where you establish yourself as an authority in your niche, create valuable content, and you're on your way to growing your audience and your business. Trust strengthens engagement with your audience, and engagement is how you will build your business. Engagement happens when your audience trusts you. So let's go a bit deeper on establishing trust. Think about it this way. You've got 7 seconds. That's how long it takes for someone to form a first impression. A first-time visitor to your blog will take on average just 7 seconds. Just 7 seconds to decide whether they want to stay or leave. So how can you use those precious seconds to convince them to hang around? It helps to have a simple, modern, professional, clean, and clutter-free page design. Your home page should not look like one of those full-page advertorials in a newspaper. Remember what a newspaper is? White space, easy to retype, and easy navigation are all good design features for your homepage. Next, publish content that your audience wants to read. This should be second nature, and it will be if you know your audience. Who do you want to reach with your blog? If you don't have an ideal customer in mind, that's your first step before you even begin writing for your blog. Third, be you. This gets to the authenticity that Calacanis speaks about. The connection that you make with your audience will come from who you are. Let your personality shine through everything you write. Show your human and humorous sides. There's only one you. Thanks, Mr. Rogers, for that insight. So don't fake being someone else. As one of my mentors says, put your smell on everything you do. That scent is what will attract and build your tribe. Fourth, write in a conversational style. Right now, you and I are having a conversation. It may seem like I'm the only one talking, but I bet there's a conversation happening within your mind. Blogs are not the place for formal writing. Keep your writing simple, friendly, and casual, and you'll build trust in your readers. Write like you talk. And one more thing, make sure that your spelling and grammar are correct. Finally, put your face on your website. Your website isn't radio. People want to connect with a real person, and your picture shows you who you are. People like to know that there's a human behind the content. Here are some more thoughts on building your audience. Use high-quality, high-definition images. Using anything less will make your site look amateurish and unprofessional. Use no more than 3 different fonts. This will help you maintain a professional look. Make sure that the colors you use on your website work well together. This will also help you maintain a professional look. Make sure that your website is mobile-friendly. That's really important today. It's going to be more important in 2020 as more and more traffic is coming from mobile devices. Now let's shift the Google way to build an audience. Maybe you know this already, and it's a fact. Google prefers long copy. The question in the minds of some people is, how long? And the answer is 2,000 words or more. Long-form content is an essential part of good SEO. Pros like Neil Patel sometimes stretch it out to 8,000 words. But honestly, do you want to read 8,000 words? Or would you prefer to get your information in shorter form that takes less time to read? My guess is that you'll take a shorter read that takes you less time to consume, and I'm guessing that you're not alone. So instead of obsessing about the length of your blog posts, how about investing that emotional energy in creating better blog posts? Ones that are really informative, enjoyable to read, chock full of valuable content, but not a tome. So what's the key for blogging in 2020? The trend is toward using your blog not just as a place for dispensing information, as valuable as that can be. Make it a place where conversation happens. Make it a place where relationships are developed. In other words, go deeper with your readers. You've been listening to Build Your Business, Change Your Life. the podcast of Irresistible Influence Marketing and tonyseel.com. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to our next time together. Next week is Christmas week in our home, and we'll have our 2 children back in the nest. So our next episode will be in the new year. I hope that you'll have plenty of holiday cheer to carry you until the next time we get together. In our next episode, I'm going to start the new year on this podcast the same way that I start the new year on my blog. We're going to be talking about mindset issues, particularly how to start the new year in a good frame of mind. I hope that you'll be with us. You won't want to miss it.